We are live again, by the way. Right back after our intermission. So,
hello.
Greetings.
Okay,
Hello.
So it appears my audio disconnected from the computer. Hang on to your butts. No, that should be fine. So that means that it's okay. It's Streamlabs. Hold on just a moment here. The wonderful, wonderful adventure that is all these moving pieces. So, we were right about to jump into the presence of the tunnel crew again. So the tunnel crew, you had passed one entry up and decided, big old tube, seen one, you've seen them all, and you went back to the main shaft and you had begun descending again. Is that right?
Well, as far as I understand, there was nothing else in that room besides the stuff we've already seen, right? We hit the wall and we recognized that's where, well, not wall. We hit that tunnel, recognized we were underneath the big Bernie shaft, and that was because of the kelp, and then we had packages on the side.
Yeah, I mean, there's just stuff. I mean, it's just stuff. It's nothing you haven't seen before, but it's new stuff if you want to check it out, but it's nothing outside of the norm for you.
And next tunnel.
Next tunnel. As you descend, you see, again, a larger tunnel. It's pretty goofy, actually, because you're going back to the pipe, you're headed down, and you can see that there is a larger pipe. The pipe gets physically larger by about double the size as it descends off to a trunk on the side. So again, you just left one branch. As you descend, you're passing another branch, but this branch really increases in size. There's another terminal there next to the bulkhead door within the pipe.
Why is this bridge so big?
I don't know. Maybe that terminal will let us know. I'm going to touch it.
Touch that terminal.
All right. And as you do, give me a tech test.
90.
Well, Lindoa got a 12.
Baxter.
Lindoa got a 12. So he hacks the mainframe. He jumps in. His fingers aflutter. Absolutely crushing it. And as he does, the opportunities that he sees are limited, but they're kind of ambiguous. Really, data entry, better this time. More data files. Again, very old, but there's a lot more to the computer. And it seems the size of this pipe reflects the size of the water that would need to be pumped out of the tremendously sized tunnel that had to be dug. In fact, there's a little bit of data here if you guys want to read about that. There's also a series of bulkheads that are now necessary to pass through before you actually enter the tunnel proper, the pipe going into the tunnel proper. It's up to you. Do you continue down this trunk? Do you go down? Do you read about the data?
We're not seeing anything that's like a pressure readout that's going to cause us any shenanigans if we start working our way into this bulkhead bonanza, are we?
No.
Sick. Bulkhead bonanza.
Bulkhead bonanza. Okay, so you guys head in, and there was data to kind of explain why there are multiple bulkheads, but I mean, if you, but you kind of go through, and you can see that this tunnel is so big that there are actual securing struts that have been arranged in like a lattice work around the outside of the roof and walls. It's really big. It's so big you actually cannot see the emergency lights above you. It's hard to even tell how big this tunnel is. Why is it so big? You're not really sure, but it's huge.
I mean, would have checked the data slate. So the additional extra bulkheads, or what if that was for moving water? Is it just as a safety measure airlock situation in case one breaks?
Oh, I'm sorry. I assumed that you were going into the tunnel and then out the bulkhead. I made an assumption there. So you're in the pipe still for moving water? The pipe is big. It's about double the size. But the tunnel around it is tremendous in size. The bulkheads are present in both the pipe and the tunnel.
I was under the impression that there were multiple bulkheads between the pipe and the tunnel.
There are multiple bulkheads as you enter this truncation of the piping. So before, after a certain level, you saw a bulkhead that was just kind of passed through. It wasn't a big deal. You just kind of open and then you walk in. This one, there are a series of locks, about 3, into the pipe alone.
Yeah, that's what I want. Why?
Oh, why? So, you're going to the terminal to check it out?
Yeah.
Basically, they had encountered an aquifer of some kind at the next highest juncture, and it meant basically a huge torrent of water that tore away a lot of the equipment that was being used. And their equipment should have picked it up, but it was so sediment rich that it was bouncing back on their equipment as ore. And so they had to tune their equipment, and it's kind of garbled. Something about extra precautions with locks. And the next deposits need to be a sure thing, and you need to be able to get around the deposit before you hit it. And so they've increased the diameter of the boring tunnels. The tubes themselves that they're mining through will be much larger from here out. Much larger.
As a preparation/safety consideration.
Yes.
Get swept away, idiots.
But it does also explain why you have kelp over just kind of in that area. But the tube here, if you continue through the bulkheads, you will see, just as you did before, the same left and right scenarios where you can exit either side of the pumping tube. Or you can continue down the pipe. Up to you.
Perhaps we should go right this time.
Do the right.
Sure. Well, it all leads to the same place, just as before. But it's a big-ass tube, and like I said, it's big enough that, yeah, you can see the wall next to you, but you can't even see the top of the tunnel, which is only lit with the emergency lights. It's really far. It's huge. But you can see the lattice work kind of on the walls and creeping up around the outside. It's very, very, very tightly secured, very, very precise. Everything matches up on like a hexagonal mesh that seems to continue down the tube. There are broken pieces of equipment, and that's all that's within your immediate vicinity. Can I get a check from you guys, please?
87.
Seeing eyes. 18.
18. Okay, so you can see that there are pieces of equipment here that have been salvaged. It appears to be different service equipment. Nothing really interesting. Tractor-like pieces that appear to have been taken apart, and in some cases put back together, but not well. It's all very run down. And you see crates. Very similar. There's just 2 of them here in your immediate vicinity. Again, it's all very dark and you don't have the same lighting. You have the same crates that you've seen with the pristine millwork and the very, very, very secured edges. But it's kind of dark on either side. You can see the same 4 tracks that you saw in the tunnel previous that line the center of the floor where some kind of a dolly or a trolley might have moved along it. A cart for transportation.
And you said those...
No, Nothing. I just didn't register half of that, but it's catching up to me. We're fine. I just need a second to process.
All right. Big
You
ass
said
tunnel.
these were the super crates.
Yes, they are.
I'm gonna poke one of them with my mechadendrite hand.
Okay. So you do, and you poke it. Can I get a poke check? What kind of a poke check are you making here? Are you just kind of...
Kind of like
Push-
the Ewoks do.
Oh, okay, like a jab, a little jab. Okay.
Yeah,
That's a literal
I rolled
poke. Okay.
a 49.
A 49. Well, not much happens. There's a dull ting ting as the chrome of the mechadendrite hits the outside of the box, and it seems very thick, perhaps full. It's hard to tell with the density of the metal.
I very badly want to just pick one of these up and throw them down the hole and see if it breaks on the impact down. Not gonna, but just know I wanna.
Well, is there any other move you want to make there?
I'm gonna go poke one of the tracks now.
Looking for another cart, or just safety's sake?
Just because I like poking things now.
You
Very
do.
fair.
And you hear a much less dense metal. This is just metal, steel. Kind of lightly resonates along the track. Not much more to it. The chasm that you're in, effectively, is too vast to really pick up much of an echo from the light tap.
Did this chasm or this
Tunnel thing.
space also have ship metal placard rune wallpaper on it, or no?
It does, yeah. But you need to get a little bit closer to the walls to fully discern that.
I go closer to the walls.
You do find it pretty quickly, but if you are standing in the midpoint, like where we were, not immediately apparent, but it's nothing that you're not expecting. You're looking for it. It's there, but they too have been burned off of the walls. Scorched and settled recently in the earth here. Or, well, the stone.
That was going to be my next question of, like, if I could run Kimuse to see how recently.
Sure. Yeah, that's probably something that Chemuse wouldn't do anything for, but if you give me a perception check, go ahead.
You could chat 34? What is my perception? It's
Yeah, and
low.
really,
I
you
think I'm
probably
only
could.
at
You can
30.
see how recently the metal was interacted with. Yeah, you can probably do that. You can see, and probably just by touching it, you can feel that it's hot. It was probably today that these pieces of metal were shot from the walls.
So, like, if they've been down here this long, why? I don't know how long they've been down here. They didn't really answer when Pistol and Alana and Gaius were doing their fantastic interrogation. Why today? Why now, huh? Weird. Also,
Like, we saw them write down the runes before burning them, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there was one in the room with us.
Yep.
Well, a group in the room with us.
There were a couple.
This all
And they-
started happening when we found those skulls looking for this CC character.
yeah, sounds hot.
Probably
Perhaps
the
they are
reason behind
behind
all
us.
this.
Well, I mean, also, they sort of took everything, including the skulls, so it's like, wonder what that's about. So, this has been fun. You want to continue climbing down a hole?
Yes, I love getting in big holes.
Me
All right.
too.
So, you continue, and as you do, we jump over to the other team. The other team, who is inside of the ship way the hell underground. Here you are, and you are being led down the hallway by the same people who kind of found you. You found them. It's the crew that
We found each other.
you guys.
We
yeah,
did.
We
Find
found
each
you
other.
first. You didn't see us.
that's true. So you found them, we'll say. So the group you found is now leading you down the same grading, doors moving to the sides. There are people carrying things, people very, very, very busily moving back and forth. A lot of people. Like it's like the Hive. It reminds you of home, but not even like on floor 1 home, like the rumors of like the lower Hive. It's not great. But everybody's in full combat gear. People aren't just like chilling. It's full
Weird.
combat gear. And they're moving ordnance. You can see that there's like large hunks of metal. I need a perception check from one of you. Pick one.
Percept.
Sounds like Sarah.
Oh, I got a 17. I got a 17.
17.
I picked pistol.
Okay. And we want to go to the D-Beck, how you doing?
I've been muted this whole time. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh no.
10.
10. Oh. Okay. We're going to go with
I
yours.
picked Gaius.
I picked Gaius.
Okay. So you see, Gaius, that you pass one of the trauma areas. And it's positioned near to the cargo bay / entrance. Probably, you can assume, for quick response. However, you see a mass of gross, nasty, just almost like what you read about like bugs looking like back on Earth and what some of the bacteria would look like if enlarged, just filling the tables before one of the doors shuts on its own. You get a quick glance of that. It's just nasty, just gross. You read about it being something carapace or something. And the door shuts quickly before you get a real good look, and you guys are moving at a brisk pace down the hallway. That's really all. You're on your way. You guys are
like
moving
that.
quickly, and you arrive after several lifts with different people who are muttering different things about common nothingness. Some snap to attention when in the presence of the sergeant. Most, however, carry on without any kind of notice to you at all. They don't seem to pay any mind to you whatsoever. You are escorted through hallway after hallway. It's about 10 minutes of walking. Different rooms, different lighting. And is there anything you're looking for, specifically? Are you trying to do anything? Anything you want to say? Anything you want to do? What's going on? Being drugged
I'll
around?
try to communicate what I saw in that room.
You're going to do that to the other two?
Yeah, pistol and the other.
Go for it.
Alana.
Alana, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh?
What? You said bugs you saw?
Yeah.
Are you just telling them what's the deal?
Yeah, I'm just telling them.
Okay. So just flat tone, just tell them.
Saw some bugs? Think that's what they're called?
Bugs?
Bugs? On the hive?
Yeah.
In the hive? Under the hive. I guess we're under the hive.
They're called Tyranid, the sergeant says, as you stop in an elevator.
Tyranid?
Yes, that's actually what we were doing. We got swept up in all this. We were escorting... You'll have to speak with the captain or the Inquisitor. I don't think I'm allowed to tell you anymore.
Would common lore Imperium...
No.
Oh, okay. So we don't know what Tyranids are.
No, you don't know.
It's one of those ignorance bliss things.
Well, yeah, and it's... Yeah.
Cool. All right.
So,
Well,
you guys are in a lift, and obviously the sergeant isn't. He doesn't have a problem with He's not. He doesn't seem alarmed or bothered. He doesn't. There's no physicality to him that suggests you shouldn't know. It's just something he's quite annoyed by. So,
Apparently, we ruined his day by being here.
I guess so.
Well, you do, in this lift, gently glide to a stop. And it arrives at a very, very dim room where there are many people, probably about 40 in total, that line the spacious circular room with a large, large, large series of monitors that kind of take up one end in a curved manner at the far end of the room. And there, like I said, about 40 people manning the different terminals. And there's a woman standing very, very, very straight-backed in an Imperial uniform. Not dead center, but askew, looking at the terminal of someone who seems to be somewhat centrally located with a computer. It's very probable these are important figures on the ship, but they aren't paying any mind to you at all. You are kind of tapped with the butt of the gun as you move forward, and you kind of feel a presence wash over you. I need everyone to roll willpower, and it won't be the warp taint, so Pilar, please do not factor that into your willpower.
Okay. Sounds good.
33.
33?
35.
5.
99. I changed my die again. And I still...
You
Okay.
begin vomiting immediately.
99. Oh, good.
And the other two...
Ilana goes, "Ah, pistol!"
Yeah, the other two feel the kind of lightweight feeling in your stomach when you're on a roller coaster or when you hit a hill quickly and you have that kind of lifted guts feeling. It's like a kind of an exciting little bit of a, oh, okay. You feel all of your organs kind of get that lift, but it doesn't ever come down. It's just a bit of a lift as you move into this area. Some don't respond too well. And the woman in the uniform who was standing snaps attention to Pistol. Ah. You don't like... Well, it's nice to have you aboard my ship.
Can
This-
do I stop vomiting?
No.
I
You
just
can-
kind of look at her and
every-
continue to projectile vomit.
Every time you begin to form words, which includes closing your mouth, it fills with puke.
Oh.
That's nasty.
Yeah.
The men around you who were escorting you kind of give you a little bit of space. You were never like in handcuffs, but like, oh God, and just giving you some room. There isn't grating here. It's actual plate. So it's just making its way toward the various people
Bouncing.
working at terminals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
It's really nice. Oh. You don't agree with the, It took me a while to get used to it myself. I am Captain Liss, and I take it you are the residents of this hive? You appear to be Arbite. Is that correct?
Correct. Sir.
I just nod my head.
Well,
I kind of.
I don't suppose it's your fault that our ship is here.
Ilana says, "We have absolutely no idea what is going on."
It is my understanding that you might be responsible for the glyphs that seem to have collapsed our Geller field. Is this true? And I need your honesty.
As Does Alana know what a Gellerfield is?
You have no idea what a Gellerfield is.
Alana says, with respect, sir, I do not know what a Gellerfield is, and I can assure you that we have nothing to do with those glyphs.
Roll fellowship.
62. Alana's not doing so great.
Well, are
12.
you 12? You
Oh.
said.
Oh, I got a 12.
Okay.
I don't know if I
Okay.
was rolling.
And you
I
want
mean,
to roll
would you like
willpower?
to tell her about how
Or
we don't have
toughness
I got it.
anything to
first?
do with this?
Well, let's do a toughness first. How about that?
For who?
For you.
For me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right.
This is your composition. This is going to be
Ooh.
your composure.
Wow. Okay, 19.
Okay. And what's your toughness?
My toughness is 30.
Hey! You swallow the most recent little bit that was coming up and kind of
Yeah.
settle your stomach a little bit. And now let's get a fellowship without interruption.
All right. 18.
Hey, there we go. Okay. So
Nice.
she stares at you each, looking into your eyes for a while. All right. But I really hope you're not lying. And she turns her back to you. The Inquisitor will be here shortly. And
Interesting.
you kind of post up. Let's get back to the team in the tube. You have quite a distance to continue in front of you. You can keep going. You can keep going. And you can take breaks when necessary or power through. Is there anything in particular that you want to do? Tube team.
My money's on power through, but I have climbing.
Sorry, I was closing my window. Yeah, we can power through. I'll try to roll good.
No way that can go wrong. Love it. Let's keep going. So we're going to go to basically as you keep going, like I said, it gets worn. And as you continue, you move into the fatigue levels. So let's get to something with a toughness check. Again, you're just going down handholds in the wall. And the handholds are becoming less handholds and more gravelly chunks chewed out of the wall. So, toughness check, please. This is going to be the fatigue. This is going to decide whether or not your speed is halved.
What is my toughness? Hold on.
You won't suffer yours yet. This is going to be for Lindoa, who rolled an 81, but his won't suffer any penalties unto themselves. It's going to be just depending on Baxter.
Well, we rolled a 34 anyway.
6.
Oh!
My toughness is 36.
You're golden. That's the second wind if I ever heard of one. You're actually increasing your speed with no penalty. You guys are moving faster. It's good. It's good. And then, of course, you're able to keep up. I'm assuming they're rolling because you have climbing. You're fine. You can match these untrained people. You're good. All right. You descend. Now, let's roll a strength check because this is where the actual hand strength is starting to kind of quiver. So let's get a check from you, Nigel.
28. I got a strength of 38.
And you know what? We have Vitus over here shouting encouraging things because he rolled a 2. He's like, hey, come on, I'll carry your slack, but let's keep it going. You guys are still moving at double speed. You're hauling ass down this thing. Very cool. So, you're moving. And let's get one more toughness check from you.
Ooh, a 51.
51. So, you're now slowed, and then one final strength check. This is going to be the actual strength in your hands. You're going to give out, or you rimrocked here. Strength check.
15.
You're moving slow, but you're moving. You have enough under these conditions, I feel, with the rolls you guys pulled off, to have enough steam to eventually make it to the bottom. Now, let's talk about the bottom. Again, this is a large, large tunnel. We talked about how big the offshoots would be from here on because of different protocol needed, etc. It is the case that at the bottom of this tunnel, you find a very large kind of a it's a temporary surface that's been kind of used to plate over what could be shaft descending beneath it. You can recognize very quickly, just because of the incredible amount of illumination being shown from the trunk, that this is just sheet metal that people have hodgepodged, fastened together, welded, secured to the walls. It's not going anywhere, but it was clear that this is not the same construction as the people who installed these tunnels in the first place. This is probably coming from the individuals that the rest of your team mentioned, which is clearly illuminating the area very well. If you proceed down into the light that they're shining, you will be seen. There is not a check that you can make that will save you from that. What is the move?
There's nobody here, right?
Not directly underneath you, but about 40 yards one direction, the only direction, there are battlements with extremely bright lights shining at you.
Huh.
Wait, did you go down the tube or the actual tunnel itself? I'm sorry. You have to forgive me. I don't remember what you said. Did you go down the main shaft itself or down the pipe?
This is the main shaft.
That's what I thought. Yeah, you didn't go down the pipe. You were in the main shaft.
Right.
Okay. So yes, you're in the main shaft, and here it just empties into this makeshift platform. The only truncation is this to the side where there is extremely well lit pressure. Do you go down to the light? You will be seen.
I don't think we should.
Okay. So you're just kind of hanging out, or you climb back up. Or you go to the next service entrance into the actual piping and move forward using the pipes.
I think using the pipes would be a better idea.
Okay.
Use the vents. We're piping.
Okay. So you're gonna need to ascend to the nearest one, which is gonna mean
I
another
just look
strength
at it and be like,
I mean, if you don't want to go get seen by a bunch of militarized freak shows, that means climbing back up. You got it in your arms?
Do you?
So I rolled a 40. I have a strength of 38.
That's okay. You're doing all right there. But you're moving at half speed. You get there, but it's slow going. You get to that same grating that you guys have been using as access points within the pipes. This is a much, much, much larger grating, as it does allow for a lot of pipe exit and entry for maintenance and clearing of things. You do have an access door into one of those pumping pipes that you've been using the whole time. You can rest, you can continue into the pipe and descend or ascend or move off to the sides. It's up to you.
Yeah, I kind of got noodle arms.
A little
I might
bit.
need a rest.
A little bit. So a rest?
So
yeah, we can hang out for a sec.
I'll ask Pedal if he's got any of them illegal stuff?
He
Like,
doesn't have anything that I know of. But
I'll ask the same to what's his name? Fidus.
Fidus. Yeah. He doesn't have anything that I'm aware of. Nothing on his inventory list. But, you know.
I mean, I got stims. You
There's
want
that.
some stims?
They do wonders. They do the body good.
And then you crash.
Yeah.
No, Baxter instantly just falls asleep.
Okay.
There.
Just passes out. Oh, isn't that sweet? Okay. So, back on the bridge. And that is where you are. The captain, Captain Liss, is tending to monitors, just kind of minding her business. The sergeant is standing next to you. Your group is there. Is there anything you want to do, say, contemplate, recite, pledge, eat?
I want to look around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you walk around or just look around?
I'm gonna start by just looking around, and I
Okay.
look with a 37.
What is your perception?
My perception is 35.
Perfect. So that's fine. You see that there are a lot of monitors that can see various things. You're not really sure. A lot of it's graphs and trajectories. You can see that there is a large heat map of some sort. You can't really make it out too much. It's not immediately understandable. Most of the monitors are either black or being used for some kind of telemetry that you're not able to discern. The captain seems to be speaking with different officials who walk in, walk out, looking over terminals. The person who was sitting in kind of a central location seems to be getting up and checking with the odd person here and there. Not much to see, really. The sergeant is just kind of shifting in his feet. The men who accompanied you, same thing, just kind of almost tired. It's been a long day for them, but they're not going to show it here on the bridge. What else are you guys up to?
Uh,
I'm just looking around, taking in the surroundings.
Okay. Do
yeah.
you want to roll your
I-
own perception check?
Yeah.
Same with you, Pilar?
Yeah, same. I'd like to, sort of look specifically at the people around us and see who is like watching us and what their level of like armor and weaponry might be. Specifically, those are the things that I'm most interested in.
Okay. The bridge crew doesn't seem to
22.
actually be that well. What is it? 22?
Yeah.
25.
Perfect. And what was yours? 35?
25.
25. Okay, that's okay. You guys are all right. So there's nothing going to be really stand out for you. But you do see that the bridge crew is just kind of wearing uniforms. They don't have the same armaments as the troopers next to you. They are able to see you, obviously, but they actually don't seem to care. You're not a threat, and they're just not interested. They seem to be pretty hard at work with whatever the hell they're doing. The
Cool.
bridge crew aren't looking at you. The sergeant glances over at you occasionally. Occasionally, a guard will kind of look at you or like make sure that he's in an advantageous position to you, but it's nothing like. Nobody really even seems to be caring. It almost seems like they're ignoring you.
Okay. Is there just the place where we came in, or are there multiple like entrances and exits?
So the main entrance that you just came into has this very large circular room where everybody's busy at work. There are two doors, one to the left and one to the right of this circular room, and there is one to the left with a red light above it, and one to the right that is a green light above it.
Okay.
Not much more to see there. And D-Beck, is there anything specific you're looking for?
Trying to see like what's on the screens and
Are you going to
they're
go
looking
over to
at.
a screen or just kind of peek from where you are?
Just kind of peek where I'm at.
Okay. Well, you do.
I'd like.
What?
Oh,
Go ahead.
continue. I was just gonna say I'd like to sort of cautiously take a step in, as though I'm like going towards the wall to like prop myself up after my my vomiting.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd like to move towards an exit, not especially perceptibly, but like be closer to the exit than I am at the moment.
Okay. So you do, and without actually even saying anything or laying hands, one of the troopers with you actually just walks in lockstep with you over to your position and just stands next to you. Really,
All right.
really not worried about your movement. It almost seems boring. It's actually probably unsettling how much they don't seem to care about what you're doing. But the crew here is doing whatever they're doing, and everybody needs to roll willpower check again. Go ahead.
Ooh, 13.
13.
17.
17.
61.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I can tell you that T-Beck feels a bunch of knots forming in his stomach, and that feeling, that heightened, alleviated feeling, kind of quivers, drops away, and then picks up again for the gals. But you feel knots, T-Beck. What is your willpower?
32.
So you had 2 degrees of failure. Is that right?
Yeah.
Nice.
And-
Nice. Go ahead and roll toughness for me.
Pretty.
A priest?
83.
83. You begin vomiting immediately. Okay. The height in your stomach and the dip and then the kind of peak that you two felt, well, kind of all three of you, but mostly the gals, matches, apparently, what everyone else in the room must be feeling, because immediately everyone's back snaps upright, straightened, almost with an iron, instantly, all at once, like some kind of synchronized swimming team. Everyone snaps to attention. As the captain, Captain Liss, yells, "Attention!" The light over the door to the left, the red light shifts to green and the doors open. And a tremendously sized person wearing the most lavish, just gaudy, it's a huge, huge cape and large, large armor. The person is bigger than he ought to be. Steps through with large, large steps. In fact, if you had to guess, it would be the same height as the exaggerated individual who sent you down here. But this one's kind of haggard. His eyes have deep wells, and he moves faster, more purpose, less lackadaisical, and his entire throat has been repurposed. It's not good. But that's just that. You see that he's talking to people who are barely keeping up, and you can't really hear it, but it sounds raspy and nasty. And he moves to the captain. And the captain, standing at attention, "My lord, these were the Arbites apprehended in the tunnel." And the individual standing in front of you doesn't really move. He just kind of looks over the head of the captain. He's filling most of the central walkway here. And he stares at each of you. Do you have anything that you want to do or say before we start talking?
You said he was the same, like, stature. Does he look familiar?
Barely.
Okay. Alana's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. I just sort of look at him with uncertainty and but like a certain sense of like dignity, like, you know, I'm not doing anything wrong, so I have nothing to fear from you.
Are
have a
you
lot to fear.
responsible for the ruins?
We are not.
My ship needs to leave your planet.
Well, not quite sure what's preventing you. We didn't even know you were here.
Have you met a woman? A woman who may have sent a book with you?
Ilana snaps to even more attention that she was using before, and she says, yes, sir.
Where is the book?
They
They
took it
have
from
it.
us.
I just want to make sure. So D-Bag's like, they have it, I don't have it. They have it, I don't
Yeah,
have it.
I don't want anything to do with this.
Okay, I just want to make sure I understood that. Bring me the book. Holding out a large, augmented hand, just huge and unsettlingly big. It's like a dinner plate. Clearly, this guy wasn't born like this. He's been stitched together.
Good.
Do you do that?
Yes.
We don't have it.
We don't
You
have
don't?
it. They have it. They took it from us.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're...
Yeah, but you have the copy.
But I
No.
mean,
So, you have...
What they took was the book that Alana had that she'd been carrying around, along with
Oh,
all
right,
of our
the-
stuff.
The friggin' the lackeys took it, is what you're saying.
Oh, the lights.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, of course they did. Pfft, I'm sorry, guys. So, one of the people who is with you brings forward the kind of bag that they've been carrying your stuff in, hands the book over, and the Inquisitor thumbs through it. Can you read these runes?
You
Looking
see
at
what
you.
happened to the
we've,
runes.
tr-
Nope.
we've
Nope.
tried. We cannot.
We were already asked that.
By the other Inquisitor.
The other Inquisitor.
The one who
By
sent
what
us down.
name did he go?
Was
He
it
didn't.
Kells?
Kelt.
Kelt.
The Inquisitor smirks. Very well. Please, join me in my ready room. Gesturing off toward the, little door on the left. He stands there thumbing through the pages, and the bored soldier, trooper people around you before, now at attention, start kind of quickly batting you with the butt of the gun. Just like you're just not ever moving fast enough toward that room.
All right.
And you're kind of pushed off over there. Now, our group that was in the tunnel team, y'all have tunneling. You're here in the pipes. You're resting. How's Baxter feeling?
How long has it been? I guess he had a good nap.
Wake up! Wake up!
We'll say
Guess
half
I'm
an hour.
awake. Stop poking me. Stop it.
Jab, jab, jab.
Mm.
All right, I'm gonna poke him back with my mechadendrite stick.
Okay. I'm assuming without malicious intent, this isn't going to do any damage.
No malicious intent. Just how does it feel? How does it feel? Pokey pokey.
Pretty great, actually.
Okay, maybe we should go back to the other team while we poke.
All right. So you guys make your way
So
down the tube.
we're going down this miscellaneous, this hole, this offshoot we're in.
Yeah, so you guys went into the pump tube that's inside of a greater shaft. You can descend down if you like. Is that the move? Or are you guys going up, looking for another way? What's the deal?
Well, I believe we went down, saw that there were a bunch of lights, came back up to rest, and is there like an offshoot we can travel down up here?
Well, there is, and you can also go into the pipe and go down. You can go to the pipe and go into the offshoot. It's kind of your move. You can go into the large blocks that are in front of you that go into the tunnel passage, or you can go into the pipes, go into the pipe going into the tunnel. You can use the pipe to go down and see if there's just a way of just sneaking right past them into the piping.
That's what I want to do. I want to see if there's
Yeah.
a sneaky piping way.
Okay, so you
We've been
go
so
sneaking
via
small.
pretty good.
the pump piping, and you, just kind of using general awareness, are able to discern that the next stop you arrive at is that same truncation that went off toward where all that illumination was. You're welcome, of course, to continue going down further, or you can take this offshoot toward all the light. Now, I should point out, it's not well lit in the tunnel. The tunnel maintains the exact same level of darkness that it had previously. It's no real difference to you.
Maybe we could sneak behind them and turn the lights off.
Or I could throw a bunch of grenades and send him into a tizzy. Are we storming the castle?
I'd rather sneak into the castle.
Fine.
Okay, so you continue down this trunk of the piping. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe there's an option for us to descend into the sneak pipe.
Yeah,
or
I mean, you guys are
descend
heading
further.
right. It's just a straight offshoot. You guys are just moving at a horizontal plane, moving right over to where all the lighting was. But again, it's not well lit. You're in the tunnel. In fact, let's roll a perception check as you continue down this pipe. It's going to be for hearing.
22 heightened senses hearing.
Okay.
34.
Okay. Now, this isn't going to be a hard check, but you can hear various things, different loading crews reporting, and then just talking about basically how they haven't had a good meal in so long. People posted at the different stations, just talking about how their boots are raw. They haven't been home in 2 years, and how long is this station supposed to last? Where the hell even are we? Why is there rock around us? Weren't we in space? It's just guardsmen bullshitting. And you can continue past where you hear all that conversation. The piping, as you can see, it kind of comes to a stop up in front of you. It looks like metal, but there's a little bit of light peering through. A little bit of light. Not much. Metal, a little bit of light. It's at an angle.
Is there like a hole to see through, or is there a...
You guys gonna go to it? You check it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gonna
Yeah.
scooch.
Yeah, as you do, you find that you're kind of just behind the line. This is basically the gap where the ship meets the stone, and there's enough where if you suck in your gut and hold out anything that might have been on your back and chest to the sides, you can kind of squosh through and just maybe get behind the line if you roll well.
Suck it in, Baxter. Let's go.
Suck what in? I'm already pretty skinny.
That's
we
the
go.
spirit. I'm just small.
Okay. So, you guys do that, and let's roll agility. We got a 7 from Lindoa.
19, my agility's a 50.
1.
1?
A 1?
A 1?
A 1.
is the case now that whenever wearing your wizard hat, it also provides +5 to sneak from here out. So your wizard hat has a +5 to masking the warp taint default, but you don't know that. You also don't know, at least not truthfully. You believe because you believe in the wizard hat, but it also provides plus sneak 5 from here out. So, your hat is quite magical at this point. And I would like to say that there are guardsmen changing position. One shift ends, another one begins as you guys move through this, but they're very set on what they're doing. Who's going to look down at the impromptu grading bridge thing from the offset ship and Earth to... who cares? I mean, like, whatever. If it made it past the line, whatever. They're just... But yeah, you just, like a fart in a storm. You just slip through, no one notices. And you're just able to walk onto the ship. You just kind of dust off and walk onto the ship. People barely even see you do that. No one raises alarm.
Say, Petal, do you know how to pilot the ship?
I can figure it out.
All right.
Or I could crack it open and take a bunch of stuff out so they can't pilot the ship. Win-win. We'll make sure they're stuck here.
Sure. Yeah. In the stone. Yeah. So
You're not going anywhere.
you guys,
we're
you
gonna die.
kind of walk onto the ship and you're kind of filled. Your senses are just overwhelmed with the same thing that the rest of your party saw. It is a huge, bustling cargo bay, loading, unloading, different transports. Let's get a full perception check from you guys.
Well, this place is cool.
89.
89 and a 6? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't really see too much more than that. Perhaps it's the overwhelming power of your magical hat. It's hard to say. But we do see that Petal is perhaps enamored by the bustling and clear comparison to what was relayed earlier. The tech priests are on juice. They're moving around like crazy. Taking things apart, putting things back together, praying here, seance there. They're doing things rather than just being ornamental. Quite fascinating. But you do have the huge number of guardsmen that are just loading on ships, unloading. You have different anti-gravity loading equipment, pushing things onto equipment, pushing like wheels and treads onto different things to repair or dismantle. Everyone here is busy. Busy enough that you are literally not important enough to have made their attention. They don't know or care. What's up? What are
Wow,
you gonna do?
security here is trash.
Is there any goodies?
Goodies. Well, not with an 89.
Are there goodies with a 6?
With a 6? What kind of goodies are you looking for?
You know, I'm already in really nice armor. Petal could use a ranged weapon.
Well, it is true that these people here are from a front line. That's true. And it is true that they've put a lot of things away for storage, but they're still kind of in the middle of that. These people look haggard. They've been through a lot. And they still have some plasma weapons laying around. You can see that some of the military craft, just by kind of peeking around this corner or that, have different weaponry secured to the wall mounts. You can see a pristine about a dozen plasma rifles on one of the transports.
Petal does the calculations of how many plasma rifles he can carry because he's scum, and then he's like, wait.
I'll take 2.
Okay. So you walk over past people doing their inventory check and everything like that. One of the guardsmen does kind of look at your outfit, and then they kind of look you in the eyes, and then go back to their paperwork, or at least pretending. They're like, what the? And just, you do the thing. And
that was going to be the next thing of like super infiltrate, see if they just have any loose armor. Petal's small, so probably not. Just, go full Clouseau and see if I can't get a fucking disguise on.
Well, so you are you're grabbing the rifles,
Yeah.
and as you do, you hear a kind of skittered screech as one of the robed tech priests whirs over to you without any jarring or real jumpy movement. It's almost like a Dementor, the way it floats over to you. There are clearly more than 2 legs moving underneath that robe.
Sick.
It skitters over in a gliding fashion, in like a kind of jittery screech, and it plucks the rifles from your hands using mechadendrites that appear from under the robe, and it sets them back fluidly in their wall mounting. And then it turns and kind of drifts away.
So just a question.
Yeah.
Am I going to be in danger with this mechadendrite arm?
That's a really good question.
I mean, a tech priest was just next to us and didn't see us, so.
The tech priest was focused on other things.
I don't think Baxter would know, would he?
No. Especially not from where you are. But
Well, beats.
He didn't do
any
anything else. He was just like, "Eee!" and just like put the weapons back, and then just like went back to what he was doing. No harm.
Baxter, what rifle do you have?
I don't. I have a shotgun.
I swap one of the plasma rifles with the Baxter shotgun.
You hear the same jittered kind of screech. This time, there are 2 needle-like appendages that kind of move out toward you and just kind of hover right at chest height, not touching you. But they kind of keep you at a distance while he moves over to the shotgun, dismantles it, puts it back together, and then puts it on the resting place, and then leaves the ship. Didn't take the plasma rifle from you. It just kind of made sure the shotgun was in working order. Took everything apart, put it back together, put it back on the rack, and then left.
I'm gonna whisper to Petal, try my knife next time.
So stupid. I swap a knife for a plasma rifle.
So you do that? Let's get a... Ooh. What kind of a check would this even be? Let's go tech. Let's get a tech check from you.
My tech is so low. You know what? I have like 4 fate points. I'm gonna re-roll that.
Okay.
What's a 2 get me?
A 2? Okay.
A 2.
So a 2 gets you the same response from the tech priest, who's really, really bothered that you keep interrupting his shit. And it's the same one. The screech is much louder, and it's not jittered. He comes over with a full AOL online screech, just blasting at you, and it actually hurts you both a little bit. It's about a half a constitution point for the moment. You'll recover over time. He hits you with the AOL sign-in, and then he takes the plasma rifle from you, jarringly, secures it back, then, making sure that the tiny bit of smudging that you left on it was polished off of it, he takes the knife and hustles toward the back where the melee weapons are stored. And here, he puts the knife next to, well, there's no open spots. So the tech priest is kind of alarmed. And then hands the knife back to you and leaves the exposed warhammers open to you.
He didn't take the knife.
No, he gave it back. He's like, oh, I thought I was going to put this away here, but everything seems to be full. So, all right.
Well, that didn't work, huh?
Nope. You want to try grabbing one of those warhammers?
What do I notice the warhammers by now?
Yeah, they're right there.
So I'm gonna go ahead and try it. I'll grab a warhammer.
Okay. You should know that you will not be able to carry anything else if you carry one of these.
Like nothing else?
Like pretty much nothing else. What is your strength? You'd have to be pretty, it'd be like over 50.
38.
Yeah, okay. So no, probably just about that. It's going to be really, really big. These are meant for people who are very, very well trained with this sort of weapon. And you can carry your armor, basically. In your
Why
hat.
do they have
Okay,
so
let's-
many?
Let's not do that.
There are like
then.
3.
Oh. What happens if I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna pull out my arm and use it to reach a rifle.
Go ahead and roll tech for me.
34?
34. Go ahead and roll luck for me.
75.
Okay. Well, so what happens is very, very quick. You reach out, you grab your chrome mechadendrite, and you reach over to the actual rifles, right? The plasma rifles with it?
Indeed.
Okay. So before you do that, before it actually touches the rifle, there are several horrible AOL online screeches that happen from different points. And 2 of the tech priests nearest to you rush over to you, grab you, and hold your arms out and begin doing a full inspection. There is one of them that rushes to you.
How full?
Huh? Oh, it's full. Oh, you are not unknown to these individuals. In fact, the third grabs the mechadendrite and using about 24 different appendages, rotates it, and then kind of looks over the branding for Inquisitor Kelt, snaps his attention to you and says, "We can install this right away. A gift from the Inquisitor.
Do it! Do it! Do it!
Tremendous. Tremendous quality. You're going to love it." And they cart you off toward the trauma center.
Okay, bye, Baxter.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
I've always
So-
wanted a third arm.
Yeah, well, you're going to get one. And this trauma center is going to do a bad job because there are broken Tyranids laying next to you. And the flesh is weak, so anesthetic who. But the good folks are going to install over the course of the next day. You'll be out of commission. But it's something that will be eaten up. You don't have to worry about actually sitting on hands. You're actually going to be given an internal frame and I'll show you where it's located if you don't already know. You're effectively going to take on the trait of Tech Priest. You won't be able to pull from their roles or from their skill tree, but you will take on the trait of Tech Priest. And I can answer some questions about that. They're going to basically put a metal infrastructure into you, and you're going to have this mechadendrite as a third appendage. Do you have a preference where you want it? Shoulder left, shoulder right, lat left, lat right,
Make it a tail.
Could it
tail?
be installed like in the middle of my back?
Yeah.
Like a dorsal fin?
Yeah. It will make wearing armor near impossible, so you won't be able to wear chest or back armor.
Ooh. All right, let's just go with the right under.
Right under? You got it. So that's
underneath
where
my
that's going to
natural
happen.
arm.
And it's going to mean some extra defensive stats for you as well. But you will also be able to interface with that Mechadendrite. I think it's like a plus 10. And you'll also have fine manipulation. We'll go over it. It's going to be something we'll have to talk about. You and I don't want to
Sure.
burn everybody down. But that's going to happen. And that's what you're going to be doing for like a little bit. So,
Bipedal.
but yeah, he just gets carted off. Pedal's now,
Bye, Fidus.
yeah, just hanging out. Well, okay, here we are. And in all the commotion, I'm happy to report that, and Sarah, if you want to come and look at this, but Fidus rolled a 1. And so Fidus is going to grab... What do you guys think Lindell would be looking for? He's a scum, right? He already has some pretty advanced vision equipment. Kind of nice.
Doesn't he also have like a flamethrower, or is that his other character?
He has a flame pistol. Oh no, that's the one in the past.
Yeah.
That's the past.
I think he has standard Arbites stuff plus the goggles now.
I think so too. And I think that it probably... Oh, what would he like? Well, I'll tell you what. We'll have him kind of roll that next time we're able to meet or do something like that. But let's jump over to our folks on the bridge. Sorry to leave you right there. But we want to go with the crew on the bridge. You were escorted over to the ready room. It's straight out of Star Trek. I just like the idea of a captain having a private quarters right off the room. Makes things easier. But you guys are pushed over there, and you sit. It's a dark room. Let's get a roll from you, please.
92. It's too dark for me.
Okay,
29.
29.
4.
Okay, well, perhaps
Nice.
you can relay to the team. What happens is the three of you are brought in, and there's a very, very large conference table. The room is about 10 meters by 20 meters. It's a long room, and you came in on the short side. At the end of the very, very large conference table, where there are many shelves that line the outside with different trophies, you can see claws and fangs, different horrible appendages of different things, some machine, some organic, that kind of take up the different mantles that line the sides. At the end of the large conference table is a huge, over-the-top, ornate, gaudy-ass chair. And there are several different display mechanisms that fill the long, long meeting table. And there's about 24 chairs in total that fill up the sides of this. Now, there are ports at each chair. There are ports on the walls. There are different monitors and displays that look like they can come down, different cables and pipes. This room has everything. Except anyone besides the three of you. The guardsmen who were escorting you kind of just push you in and close the door.
Great.
Right.
Well,
How comfortable are the chairs?
not.
Yeah.
To put it in a word, the answer is not. Perhaps they could pick up some of your fine furniture.
One day.
If you feel like selling to them.
Mm-hmm. Well,
If they catch you or you show up on the bridge.
Yeah, right.
yeah. Okay. So, you're chilling Anything you want to do, fiddle with?
I want to look at the trophies and stuff.
Okay, go ahead and roll a new perception.
55.
5-5?
Yeah.
You are able to read what they are, but it's all places and things you've never heard of. You don't recognize any of the events, and the timetable seems to be exaggerated. It could be that this is a lofty speak, but it doesn't seem possible because some of these trophies, at least if the dates can be believed, were obtained about 100 years from now. It's
Hold on, I was like, what?
not, it has to be an exaggeration of some kind. Maybe it means something you're not really familiar with. Could be Inquisitor speak for something. It's hard to say.
These dates are ridiculous.
What about him?
Well, look at them. This one's 100 years from now.
Oh, weird.
The doors open, and in walks Captain Liss. Hello. I'm sorry the Inquisitor's been delayed. Something called his attention. Please, take a seat. She gestures at the table and moves to the far end, not sitting in the ornate chair, but the one immediately to the right of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She sits
I
down.
sit down too.
Now, my second officer would normally be the one who has this sort of task, but frankly, I don't have a lot to do right now, and they're busy. So hello, again, I'm Captain Liss, and it's really unfortunate that we have to meet. The Inquisitor is currently preoccupied. He may join us, but right now it's going to be us, I'm afraid. My ship is, as you may have noticed, currently laywayed here in your planet. We were passing by, and near as the Inquisitor can tell, some artifact that you possessed. Perhaps it was the runes we found on the walls. Something spoke to us, or at least spoke to those with the ability to listen. The Geller field shattered, and there was no choice. I pulled the ship out of the warp, and we appeared here inside of your planet. Something pulled us here. We could not pass it. With the Geller field, are you familiar with the Geller field? Gesturing at the three of you.
No.
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 It was unsafe to traverse the immaterium. We had to leave. Here, unexpectedly, we appear to have been lodged within your world. This is not a mistake, I don't believe. The Inquisitor is seeking an answer. And it appears doubly strange because the Inquisitors, well, we sent scouting parties to the surface, and what we've heard back is quite disturbing. Is there any information that you can provide that may shed light on the events that have transpired here?
So, Alana knows, like, 600 years ago, floor 4 flooded.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, like, all she knows, right?
Yeah.
It was, like, a terrible tragedy.
Yeah, like 1 billion people were lost, either dead or displaced.
Okay, so she conveys that to the captain, that there was a terrible tragedy 600 years ago, and it's relevant because the noble people from floor 1, because there are now only 3 floors, have apparently discovered a way to perhaps maybe drain floor 4 so we can reclaim it and basically move a bunch of people back down in there. But we were sent by a man claiming to be he's not an inquisitor, but almost an inquisitor, to come down here to look for something. He had a nicer copy of that book that we were in possession of.
We found others from your hive, I believe. They appear to be... Are there settlements this low in the planet?
Not that we're aware of.
We encountered resistance. I don't want to speak on behalf of the Inquisitor, but I myself haven't seen zealotry outside of heretical sects like the ones we encountered. Is that something, and please be honest with me, that you have anything to do with?
It's
Never heard of that. But we were sent down here to look. The man that sent us seemed to think that there was something strange going on.
That's true.
The door opens up. The second officer pokes in. The captain raises her hand. I'm afraid I must leave you. We will provide you with dormitories, although our mission was to provide relief in a combat zone that we just left. We achieved near victory against a Tyranid fleet. Many were lost, and it means that the refugees on board number far beyond the capacity this ship was meant to support. There isn't much room, but we can probably afford enough for a shared accommodation. We will see to it that you're set up somewhere where we can reach you. Please feel free to use the facilities of the ship, but I would like you to remain within proximity of the bridge, near enough that you can reach it if beckoned.
Can our gear be returned to us?
Certainly. And she gets up to walk away, straightening her uniform. Welcome aboard. The Immaculate End, such as it is. And she turns and leaves.
Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
Would you be able to tell us what the current date is?
I actually can't, but I will be able to provide that. I have it written down, but you'll have to forgive me. I don't have that here. I'm using it as a bookmark in my hard copy actual Dark Heresy book, this one, and I have that away. I'm sorry.
Fair enough.
But I could DM you. So we're looking at strange timelines here. But are you guys?
I was just looking at like a confirmation whether or not they actually believed themselves to be in the future from us in the supposed present.
They do indeed.
Okay.
And that's not unheard of. The warp sucks. It's terrible. Sometimes you end up a week before you sent out. It's no good.
Weird.
But if you're okay with that as our pause point, you guys, I'd like to put a pause. It's 6 p.m. over here. Are you guys okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for those who watched, and if you endured the whole time, God, Caldwell, if you're still there, hello, and thanks for hanging in. We're probably gonna go to the going unlive zone right now. There that is. Look, it's happening. It's really happening. We're going unlive. Okay.
Online.
Yeah. And as for everybody else, we're gonna be kind of putting a little bit of a pause on it because we have the lovely Pilar leaving the country soon, and I don't want you to have to stress about it when you're overseas.
Yes, I appreciate that. I should be back probably I think the 20th of June is my return date, so I'd be happy to,
Well-
return to if you guys are not doing other things at that time.
We'll DM about it in the interim, but you're leaving like tomorrow. Right?
Okay. Yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow.
Okay. So we're going to put a pause on it, and